day and all of the first three beginning chapters were involved like blowing up some big ship. Even the Phantom Menace, Anakin Skywalker had to blow up some ship that protect the droid army. Episode 4 had to blow up the Death Star for the first time, and then Episode 7, in the most uncreative way, blew up Starkiller Base, which was basically a bigger Death Star for like the third time.
It's another Death Star.
I wish that were the case, Major. This was the Death Star. And this is Starkiller Base.
So it's big. How do we blow it up? There's always a way to do that.
It didn't take much creativity. It was a severe lack of creativity. Literally repeated itself from Episode 4. And all the beginning chapters introduced the supposed Chosen One in the trilogy. Technically, Anakin Skywalker is the Chosen One through prophecy, because he did destroy the Sith, but before destroying the Sith, he also destroyed most of the Jedi. Luke Skywalker was also considered to be the Chosen One by several important people as well, such as Yoda, Obi-Wan, even Darth Maul. Though him and Darth Maul never even met. I'm sure Rey's going to get some kind of designation in Episode 8 in regard to her being the Chosen One. My speculation is that she is the reincarnation of Anakin Skywalker. She could very well be an incarnation of a force being called the Ones that were seen in Star Wars Clone Wars series. For those of you who aren't familiar with the Clone Wars series or don't know who the Ones are, they're basically like a mythical force beings, kind of like force deities, known as the Father, the Son, and the Daughter, each representing the balance, which is the Father, the light, which is the Daughter, and the dark side of the Force, which is the Son. They all supposedly died in the Clone Wars, but I wouldn't be surprised if Snoke was the son or somehow survived the intercept on the planet Mortis. I'll touch more on who I think Snoke is later on in this video. One thing that fans tend to overlook, that in the second movie of the first two trilogies, they heavily revolve around romance. They tend to just attribute that to the prequel trilogy with Attack of the Clones, but they completely overlook the romance that happened in Empire Strikes Back between Han and Leia. But long story short, you can bet your bottom dollar that there will be some type of romance in Star Wars Episode 8. The obvious route is that there's going to be some type of romance or love affair between Finn and Rey. A lot of fans like to joke that there would be a love affair between Finn and Poe Dameron. I'm going to not comment on that any further just so I can remain politically correct. Besides, at this point in time, we don't know. This is a fact who Rey's father is. A lot of people think that it could be Luke, or it could be Obi-Wan or Han Solo, but I suspect there would be some love affair between Rey and Kylo Ren. Again, I'm not condoning incest in the slightest. It's not the first time family members, let alone siblings, have some kind of romantic affection in Star Wars. If Rey happens to be the reincarnation of Anakin Skywalker, that will make her Kylo Ren's grandfather. I mean, it's not going to make the situation better or worse. Even after Episode 6, there was still canon content reinforcing the romantic affection Luke had for Princess Leia in the novels and the comic books. In the Heir to the Jedi novel, Luke had a girlfriend that called him out for having feelings for Princess Leia. And after she died, he was still trying to get alone time with Princess Leia in the comic books. So basically it shows that there's no shame in Star Wars game. I'm going to assume that Disney had the more decency than do that on film this time around, but if that's how it's happening in the movies, then you heard it here first. We know that Snoke is going to be featured in Episode 8 and interact with some characters physically. However, in the first two trilogies, we don't get to see the puppet masters in action to the third installment, really. This leads me to believe that there is some higher up in the ladder than Snoke, possibly. Because in reality, we don't know anything about Snoke as of right now, and we don't actually know how powerful he is or what we can reference him to. But we do know that in the Thrawn novel, that Thrawn joins the Galactic Empire to protect against some threat that existed outside the known galaxy, or galactic galaxy. We also know that Emperor Palpatine felt the source for dark side powers to come from beyond the known galaxy as well. We don't know if their source is actually Snoke or something else, or a group of people, or whatever. I mentioned before that Snoke may be the son from Mortis, but even more so, I think they could be Ezra from Star Wars Rebels. In both trilogies, there have been both Jedi that fell to the dark side. In the first trilogy, we had Count Dooku, one of the most powerful Jedi ever to become a Sith Lord. As the whole first trilogy was about Anakin Skywalker's transformation to becoming Darth Vader. In the original trilogy, nobody fell to the dark side per se within the movies, but in that time period, Ezra did exist, and we don't know what happened to Ezra at the end of Star Wars Rebels as of now. But we do know that Ezra was inching closer to the dark side. We did see him find an ancient design of a lightsaber, which could be how Kylo Ren himself discovers the same design. And also, the facial features looks a lot like Ezra, like a freaking parrot. So that's my best guess. We'll see. I'm looking to be surprised, and hopefully it's a good movie. I'm not hearing the best things right now because I was one of the people that said that Episode 7 was not a good start for a new trilogy at all, really. And I really hope, and it could just be an avalanche effect right now. Anyway, guys, we're going to see. Don't forget to share my new videos. If you live in Delaware or New York, you can possibly win a free trip to go see The Last Jedi in theaters at the Main Street Movies. So it's your boy, Barmeses. I got to leave right now. I'll see you guys soon.